He goes, as a matter of fact, among anesthesiologists, he goes, we now don't even call it propofol. We call it Jackson juice. In the medical community, they call it Jackson juice. But that's how crazy this fucking guy was. Tragically, that he was putting himself to sleep with general anesthesia, and that's what he didn't wake up from. Because the doctor went and took a call from his girlfriend or something and forgot to bring him back at the right time.
The doctor was watching Jeopardy.
There was really a story like that.
There was.
I'm going to continue. The story was like the doctor forgot or because you got to have. I mean, you're going to let somebody keep somebody down for 8 hours on general. You got to monitor their vitals, and he took a call or something from his side piece or whatever and got wrapped up, and then oh shit, Michael Jackson's sleeping, and he couldn't bring him back. It's insane.
You're a fucking trip. You know everything about music. What's your beef with the Grammys this week? You still mad at them? Those
Look what they
cocksuckers.
did to Eddie Van Halen. That's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace.
I mean, they don't have a clue about rock music. They don't care about it. They haven't for over 30 years. From the time they gave the Metal Grammy to Jethro Tull over Metallica, when the world laughed at them, they haven't changed since. It's random. It's a joke. It's a mess. And this, to me, what they did or didn't do for Eddie Van Halen is the greatest offense in many for rock fans on that show. I mean, they don't even televise the Rock Award anymore. It's insane. But to do that or do so little is just mind-blowing. And I don't care. I don't want to hear from the producer, oh, well, the family didn't want to. No. You and I both know producers' jobs are to produce. So if somebody says, hey, Eddie's kid says, I don't want to play Eruption. Well, you got 5 months. Figure something else out. Don't mail it in and pull a 15-second clip and throw it in with everybody else. This is Eddie Van Halen. You don't do that. It was disgraceful.
It really fucking is. I always see you get hot during music award season because they either that or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They fucking go. They try to fuck with my man Trunk, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
I'm a voter. I'm a voter for. Look at this. People will be amazed at this. Hold on. So look what I got here. This is like crazy. This is an official Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ballot for this year. This is a real ballot. This is what, I have one of 1,000 votes that determines who gets in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm actually a voter, which I'll tell you, I give them credit because as much as I crush them when it's deserved for rock music, they came to me like, I've been a voter for 6-7 years. And they said, hey, look, do you want to be a voter? And I could have been a jerk and been like, no, fuck you. I'm not doing that. You guys suck. But then I'm like, that would have been hypocritical because if I want to make change and I want to see change happen with this thing, they're letting me have a major voice in who gets in. So I actually got to give credit to Tom Morello because he's the guy who got me on the voting committee. And I've voted ever since. I don't rant. People love when I rant. When we were doing that metal show, they used to love to get me riled up because it made for good TV. People loved it. You and I, people love to see the big guy getting crazy,
Crazy, yeah.
So that my producer on that metal show used to always say to Don and Jim, make sure you poke the bear, meaning get me going, get me crazy, right? It doesn't take much. But I tell people all the time, I don't do that for effect. I don't script it. It's not planned. If it's in me, it comes out. And whether it's on the radio or TV or any of the things I've done, if it's a passion and you push my button, I'm just going to let it go sometimes. But I don't do it for effect. I don't do it unless I feel it's warranted. And with the Grammys lately, and certainly sometimes the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I mean, I'm lucky I got a voice, I got a following, I got a platform, I'm going to use it.
I'm happy you do, because even last year I voted, and I don't see where they come up with these names. I was voting for Pat Benatar. I grew up on Pat Benatar.
She should have been there long ago.
Last week. I went to see her last year, and then The bass player told me they were up for it. Don't say nothing in front of her. You know, I voted for her every fucking day. I voted for her, you know, whatever. Then she didn't get it. I couldn't fucking believe it. You know, I talked about it on the podcast. Then she didn't get it, so I thought there was some type of fix was in, so fuck it. I moved on.
When you say you voted, what are you talking about? The fan vote thing?
Yeah, the fan vote thing.
It's all bullshit.
It's
the
all
fan
bullshit.
vote's all bullshit.
I realized that after I fucking got taken by it. I realized
it's
it was
a
bullshit.
Sponsored thing. The only way the fan vote comes into play at all for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is if there's a tie. So say somebody's on the fence and it's 50 votes in, 50 votes not in, and that person won the fan vote, then that would get them the other vote to get in. Otherwise, the fan vote's just a popularity contest. It will not get anybody in.
That's great to fucking know, because I didn't know what was going on. Because I know
this ballot, which is what the actual voters get. My votes on this, if you can see at the end, this is where I make my selections and mail it in. But my votes on this, I get to pick 5. Each of my 5 votes means more than the entire fan vote. That's how weighted it is towards the voters versus the fan vote. The fan vote, if you notice, the fan vote's sponsored. It's always like presented by some company.
Yes.
So there's a lot of that going on, you know, about pushing people to a brand. And of course, the artists love engaging their fan bases and they love winning it. Who wouldn't want to say we won the fan vote to have the most fans? That's all great. But the reality of it is it's not getting you in or out unless it's the rare case where it's a tiebreaker.
Eddie, I'm looking forward to this summer because we're going to get to hang out at one point or another.
Yeah.
You know, Jimmy has asked me a couple times, and I just didn't want to. You know, COVID was scary for everybody, so I didn't want to meet you and give it our first meeting. I'm going to give you COVID or whatever. Nobody's going to invite me over. So now that you're all vaccinated up, I'm going to get vaccinated up. You know, I put myself on a Marlboro list and all the towns close to where I live. Hopefully we can get together and talk some more, man. I'm a big fan of yours. You know, my time zone changed. So now when I get in the car, I either get Duff or Tom Morello. I don't get you anymore because my time zone was different. In L.A., I think you come on at 2 Eastern or something, 5 Pacific or 4:30. So I would take my daughter to kickboxing, and I would sit in the car and watch her and listen to you, and I could watch her kickbox. You know, so it was great.